We've got stocks, shares, and equities, which are kind of the same thing. We've got hedge funds, we've got index funds, we've got bonds, government bonds, corporate bonds. You might have heard some people investing in watches and in fine art. You've probably heard of people investing in crypto and either gaining lots or losing lots. In my case, losing quite a bit of money because crypto has crashed recently. And a lot of this can get very complicated quite quickly. And so we're going to simplify things. And for the rest of this video, we're going to talk about investing in stocks and shares, because that is the main kind of investing that normal people like you and me can unlock fairly easily. You don't need to have large amounts of money, which you need to invest in a house. You don't need to take on huge amounts of risk and gambling and stuff like you need to do with crypto. And you don't need to be an accredited investor or anything like you need to invest in like angel investing companies or all this fun stuff. So stocks and shares are kind of the basics of investing. And usually when people talk about investing their money, what they're referring to is, I want to buy some Tesla, or I want to buy some Netflix, or I want to buy some Amazon. And so we're going to talk about that. Part 2, why and how to invest in stocks and shares. So when you're investing in stocks and shares, for example, you're basically buying a percentage ownership in the company that you're investing in. So let's say I wanted to buy shares in Apple, for example. Apple is a publicly traded company, which means the public can trade Apple stock. Now, in a dream world, I would just be able to go to apple.com/buy, and I'd be able to buy a stock of Apple, and now I own some percentage of the company. In reality, I can't do that directly. I have to go through a middleman, which we call a broker. But once I've gone through this middleman platform, I now personally own a piece of Apple. Now, I can make money from stocks and shares in 2 different ways. Firstly, I can make money because I'm hoping the price of Apple or whatever stock I've invested in is going to rise over time. So 10 years later, I could sell it for a lot more money than I bought it, fingers crossed. But the second way in which you can make money through stocks and shares is similar to how you make a rental income on a house, because certain companies will pay what they call dividends. So for example, in the UK, there's a company called BT, British Telecom, and they pay dividends. So when you own a piece of BT, you're not just hoping that the price will rise over time, they're also literally paying out some of the profits that the company makes to their shareholders. And so if, for example, you were ridiculously rich and you owned 20% of BT, then every time they declare a dividend, which might be every 3 months, you would get 20% of the profits that they are distributing to shareholders. In reality, you and me were probably not going to own 20% of a huge company like that, because that would cost absolutely billions. But instead we might get,